background. So go ahead, Farah.
Yeah, so just kind of get us started, we have a lot of people, which is great and wonderful. So I don't know that we have time for a long introduction, but if everybody wants to give their name and what institution or alliance they are representing, that would be great. I'm Farah Williams. I am the director of the Kentucky West Virginia LSAMP Alliance. And we'll just kind of go on my screen, left to right, top to bottom. So that brings us to Denise. And you're muted, Denise. There you go.
And that brings us to me. Okay, my name is Denise Yates. I'm at the University of Texas at El Paso. I am a part of the leadership team for the UT System Lewis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation, and I'm a co-PI on the LSAMP International Center of Excellence.
And Ron is next.
My name is Ron Stamper. I'm a chemistry faculty member, and I'm on the steering committee. Our organization, Mott Community College, is part of the Michigan LSAMP Alliance.
Okay. Next is Christopher Anderson.
Hey, I'm Chris Anderson. I'm a biology professor at Dominican University outside of Chicago, and we're the Puma STEM Alliance, which is regional Chicago institutions.
And for those of you that have just joined it, if you don't already know, we are taking some quotes. So what is your favorite quote? If you want to share a quote in the chat, that would be fantastic. And we're going to go to Dr. Atchison.
Yes, well, thank you. I'm a professor of mathematics at the University of Texas at Arlington. And I was involved in the UT system LSAMP until 2014 and served as the LSAMP campus director from 2009 until 2014. Thank you.
And Bastia.
Hi, my name is Basha Galinsky. I'm a PhD who works at the University of Chicago in the Cancer Center. I'm looking at this conference because we support minority students to get into careers in cancer biology. So whether it's graduate or medical programs. So I'm learning about the opportunities to have our students present at some of these meetings and be a part of this consortium in such a way. Thank you.
Awesome. Brenda.
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute thing. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Brenda Morales. I am the state director for the Oklahoma LSAMP. What else were we saying? I forgot.
That's good. Who you are and where you're at. Yeah. And Chuck.
Hi, I'm Chuck Benton. I am a instructor of biology at Madison College, a community college in South Central Wisconsin, and we are part of the Wisconsin Alliance for Minority Participation, or WisCamp.
And next on my screen is Dr. Nguyen.
Good afternoon. Yes, this is Kim. I am representing the Indiana's LSAMP, and we are here to have a conversation with everyone. Thank you.
Awesome. And Sarah, good to have you back in LSAMP.
Hey, Farah, it's great to see you. Thank you. I know. Hi, everybody. My name is Sara Rodriguez, and Farah and I go back, right? So I am the program coordinator for the UT System LSAMP and also for the West Texas Research Collaborative, which is also the Aspire program funded by the NSF. I started working with LSAMP back in 2005 and took a brief hiatus to explore community colleges, and then I came back last year, so I'm super happy to be back. A lot of familiar faces, a long history with LSAMP, so hi to all the colleagues, and great to see you, Farah. Hi, everybody. Thanks.
Donald is next on my screen.
Hi, Don, definitely please. Donald is when I'm in trouble
Good.
and things. The longer the name gets, the more trouble I might be in. Greetings to everybody. I'm Don Whitrock with the University of Cincinnati, and I'm the program manager for our LSAMP program. Great to be here.
Excellent. And we have Amber.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amber Huff, and I'm program manager with Indiana LSAMP.
And Dr. Gaskins and company.
Hi, everyone. I'm Whitney Gaskins. I'm at the University of Cincinnati with LSAMP. This is Waylon. He is with me today.
Excellent co-worker there.
Oh,
and
excellent.
Mary is next on my screen.
Good afternoon. I'm at Ball State University, and I am the campus co-director for Indiana LSAMP on Ball State's campus.
Awesome. And then we also have Mary Darrow. Oh, you're muted. It's good to have you here. Thank you. Oh, there you are. Can you talk now? No?
No.
Okay. So we will go on to Dr. Flores is here. Oh, you're muted.
Hi.
Hi.
What can I tell you? It's Friday afternoon.
Exactly.
Where our energy levels are not where they need to be. I guess I'm supposed to introduce myself?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, sure. All right. Benjamin Flores. I'm with the University of Texas at El Paso. I'm also the PI and project director of the University of Texas Lewis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation. I've been at UTEP for 31 years.
Woohoo!
And
awesome.
I'm not quitting yet, so I'll be here.
Go Miners.
Fantastic.
You better, because you signed for us all.
Yeah, I'm saying, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, you done coerced Denise down there, so you can't leave her.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be silent about that one. Okay.
Thank you.
Next.
I'm glad. Thank you very much.
So I think that everybody else has their cameras off, but is there somebody that wants to introduce themselves on camera? There we go, Ted.
My name is Ted Weiland. I teach at Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where I teach chemistry and biochemistry. And I'm one of the faculty leads with LSAMP program here on campus.
Fantastic. And Lisa.
I'm Lisa Volk. I'm from Iowa State University. I'm the program manager for the Inspire LSAMP program.
Okay. And Marita.
Hi, yes, my name is Marita Abram. I am the program coordinator for Sinclair Community College LSAMP program. We are proud members of the Ohio LSAMP Alliance. And I am also the chair for the Community College Task Force, Pathway Task Force for the Ohio LSAMP Alliance. So I'm really excited to be here today and really get to know so many new faces and colleagues.
Yeah, fantastic. And then Peggy.
Hi, I'm Peggy Mock. I'm the co-PI for the Southwest Georgia STEM Alliance Partnership here in Southern Georgia for the Lewis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation, and I'm glad to be here.
Fantastic. So this is a great group, Anik. I think we are full to capacity, which is wonderful. So the question we asked you in the chat as you came in was for a favorite quote. Would anybody like to share their favorite quote?
Hey, Farah, really quick before folks share out their quote, I'm just going to introduce myself really briefly, only because, no, that's okay. I've been admitting folks, so I'm kind of laid here in the background. So thank you so much. My name is Anik Ruiz, and I am the STEM Inspire Program Manager at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Proud of our WisCamp Alliance here in Wisconsin. And so glad to see all of you here. So, and we have more folks kind of filing in the room. So if you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself verbally, please do so in the chat by giving us your favorite quote, and I'll give it back to you, Farah. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I completely forgot. We'd already. Okay, thank you for doing all the work behind the scenes there. For sure, for sure. All right. Who would like to share what their quote was? And maybe a story behind it if you have a reason that you chose that particular quote. Yeah, go ahead.
I did. Example is not the main thing in influencing others. It is the only thing. For surely that is what we are doing in this program, is trying to set examples for people to move forward into these fields and do what we know they can do.
Absolutely. Yes.
Farah, I borrowed something from the old civil rights movement. Each one, teach one. Yes. And that's exactly what all of us do. We reach back, we get somebody, pull them up, and do due diligence for introducing them to STEM, for cheering for them as they journey toward that PhD, and we're there for a shoulder to cry on and a cheering, rah rah when they need it. So that's one of my favorites. Each one, teach one.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I'll go, Farah, Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
In reality, my favorite quote would be, Toto, I think we're not in Kansas anymore, because that speaks of my constant state of mind of needing to troubleshoot. But the one that I included in the chat is from Rita Mae Brown, a very iconic writer, and it's the reward for conformity is that everybody likes you by yourself. So I think that's just a good reminder for the importance of authenticity.
Oh, that is a really good one. Yes.
I think, Marita, you have your hand raised.
Yes, one of my favorite quotes comes from Dr. Randy Posch, who's actually no longer with us. He was a professor at Carnegie Mellon, but from his book, The Last Lecture, one of his many quotes reads, "We cannot change the cards we are dealt, just how we play the hand." And I share with our scholars at Sinclair pretty frequently that, despite maybe being born or dealing with challenging circumstances or born into challenging circumstances, really your life is in your own hands, right? Programs like LSAMP and other enrichment and support programs can help you to change the trajectory of your life if you really wanted to. So that's just one of my to-go-to quotes that I have found to be very helpful and reflective for me, that I often share with my students and scholars.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Okay. I don't think I see anyone else's hand raised at the time, but we have some really great quotes in the chat, and hopefully we'll be able to save these, and maybe we can share them out across our different alliances and institutions, because there may be one that you decide that you want to use for your students or in your classrooms. And so This is wonderful inspiration. Thank you everyone for sharing out. So this networking part of the program is for you. It's for all of us. We are at the end of our day. I mentioned this before to Denise as we were just, and Farah as we were just coming on. We know that we are standing between you and dinner, you and your family, you and heading out to do something fun or exciting, we hope, on your Friday. But we want to make it clear that we are here so that you all can get to know one another, so we can relax and decompress, reflect on what we've learned at the conference so far. And so we hope that this session will be meaningful for you to be able to network. So we have a couple of fun things to get you out of your seat, things to engage. And so we had a question, and I'm going to actually ask that you use those icons. So if you are in the Zoom and you're able to use your reactions at the bottom of the page, I'm going to ask you to do that. And so what I want everyone to do is, if you have worked in your alliance role, or if your alliance itself is less than 5 years old, I want you to clap. If your alliance is less than 5 years old, you can come on camera and clap, or you can use the reactions on the bottom and clap. We just want to see how many people are here, and some of you all for the first time, or some of your alliances. So I see Linda clapping, Eve clapping. I'm kind of looking around, so I think we got maybe Chris clapping, Ron. Okay, so we got 4 folks. Peggy, are you clapping on there? Can I see you, honey? Yeah, you got it? Okay, all right. Okay, so we're gonna move then to alliances that are between 5 and 10 years old, or if you've worked in your present position for 5 to 10 years. So I'm going to ask you all to use the thumbs up, or give me a thumbs up on the camera, 5 to 10 years. Let's see who in the room is 5 to 10 years. Marita, I see you. Let's see. I see Chuck. Let's go. Let's see who else. Brenda, thank you. Thank you. We had a lovely session with Brenda earlier. Let's see who else. I don't see anyone else. Oh, I think I missed Mary. Ted, I see you. Thanks so much. Okay, so we have about similar number of people, 5 to 10 and under 5 years. Now we're getting to you veterans here. Our wealth of and pool of knowledge and wisdom. If you have served in your role for 10 to 20 years, I want you to use the celebration, the ta-da feature in the reactions, or you can simply use, just kind of move your hands for me. So we're talking about 10 to 20 years. So let's see those folks. Oh, Whitney. All right. Let's see. Do we have anyone else? That decade you've pushed.
I'm only 5 to 10. I was 5 to 10.
Oh,
you were saying Whitney.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Okay. 5 to 10. Okay. I see Denise. I see your hands. All right. Okay. So we are at 20 years or more. 20 years or more with LSAMP. 20 years or more in your position. What I want you to do, if you're 20 years or more, I want you to use the heart feature, because we love that you have established continuity in your region, in your state, in our LSAMP program. And if you're not able to use those, then just do a heart in your camera so we can see you. So who do we have here? Oh, Dr. Jones. Awesome, awesome. We love that you've been a part of LSAMP for so long. It's benefited all of us greatly. Who else? Who else do I have in that love category that we can extend love to and
Dr.
appreciate?
Flores.
Dr. Flores. All right. Okay. So this is wonderful. And maybe there are others. So we have strength. The purpose is for us to see just how much strength, wealth of knowledge and experience we have in the room. And whether you've just started in your alliance work or program work, or whether you've been in it for a long time, that same passion, that same invigoration you have for the work, we hope is still there because it's so vital. And the other point to make is that we need each other. There are some of you all who have been doing this for much longer, and we hope that you'll be able to exchange information. Perhaps you want to put your information in the chat, or folks can reach you on the HOVA platform. But if you saw somebody who had their hand up 10 years, 20 years, don't be afraid to reach out to them and ask them for support. And so with that, Farah, do you want to do the scavenger hunt first, or do you want to recap our alliance session?
I think let's do the scavenger hunt. Let's get up and moving.
Okay, so I hope you all are ready to move. I am actually going to share my screen and I will explain what this activity is about. And yes, you will be moving about and it is going to be fun. So I hope everyone can participate. So let me just give me one moment. Okay, Farah, am I sharing correctly here?
It says it started sharing, but it's still a black screen.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if anyone from the conference is here that can show me if there's some other modality that I need to share in. Otherwise, I can put the list of the items in the chat as well. So it looks like it.
There it is.
Can
if
you see
scroll
it?
a little bit, yeah, scroll a little bit because it's
Okay.
cutting off at 7 and 16. There you go, right there.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay, awesome. So I won't be able to see everyone's faces, unfortunately, but we have this fun scavenger hunt. So here we go. Here are the rules, everyone. You have just 2 minutes. That's all you got. 2 minutes to find as many of these items in your office space, at your house, in your bedroom, wherever you are as possible. The first maybe 12 people who put their names in the chat will have some type of, we'll figure out what type of prize or award to give to you. But we need you to post that in the chat when you find all of these items. We're going to give you 2 minutes. You can't cheat. So wait until the clock runs down. You're finding as many things as possible on this list, and then you have to come on camera and show us these items, okay? Because yeah, we're all about integrity, so you can't just tell us. We're gonna ask for some proof. So Farah, are you ready? And is the room ready? Okay, all right. So 2 minutes, let's go. I should have some theme music playing.
Maybe some Jeopardy.
Yeah, some Jeopardy music, one of my favorite shows. All right, I want to see you scrambling. Somebody still has a flash drive somewhere. Everybody's not using the cloud yet. Somebody has a flash.
And everybody should have a water bottle with them or some kind of, possibly.
Yep.
Hand sanitizer, of course. and phone. We all have our phones these days.
Yes. Yes. Cell phone. You should have your cell phone.
Board game isn't, maybe not. We'll see. That might be the a decider.
Now, Farah, can you check the chat, because I can't see if anybody has posted in the chat yet. You have 1 more minute, just 1 minute.
We have someone that has 2 items, and what's that cloud thing? So what's the
All right.
Oh, Marita says she has things.
All right, time is up. Time is up. Whatever you got, you got to have a seat. Whatever you got, time is up. Time is up. Okay.
I mean, Dominique says she's in the car. She lost.
Oh no. Well, you never know. You might have something in the car if you, you never know. Okay, so Farah, anybody in the chat that mentioned they got all 18 items?
Well, she didn't say all, but Marita says she has the items.
You have, okay, I see her waving her hands furiously. So Marita, come off of mute and tell us, did you get all 18? And if so, you got to show us, you got to show and prove.
Yes, I believe so. So let me, you just want me to go through the list?
Yeah, just okay. Hold it up so we can see it.
Okay, so let me take off the filter of my background so you can see. I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay, hold on. Background, none. Okay, alrighty, so let's start with the flash drive. Here's the flash drive, see?
All right.
Got it.
Okay, in terms of tape, oh my gosh, what happened to my tape? Oh, here's the tape. Here's the tape right here. Tape. Okay. There's tape. Everybody see it? Office supplies. Here's my stapler. Okay. Something sweet, because I get a sweet tooth in my office. Here's some Snickers and Milky Way.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't mention this, but I'm also a biology faculty member at Sinclair. So here's my A&P book in which I teach from. Yeah. Post-it notes. I have plenty of those. What teacher can live without Post-it notes, right? They're all right here. Oh my gosh, Chuck, I see you have the same book. We should chat A&P sometimes. Okay, picture. Here's a picture that I keep right next to my computer of my daughter and I, to keep me encouraged on the rough days, right? Okay. Oh, she wants me to show you the other one of her. She's in the background. Okay, there's another one of her. Hand sanitizer, keep it right next to my desk. There it is. An indoor activity. All right, so that can be anything that you do indoors, like, for an example, a puzzle. Okay, right here. Here's my puzzle of the solar system. As you can see, it's falling all over the place. But yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay, a board game. So my board game is actually, oh my gosh. Uh-oh, well, I think my board game is in the other room. Maybe that was my puzzle. But workout equipment, okay, so here's my board game right here, actually. I forgot, it was on the other side, okay. It's called Mancala. Workout equipment, I have a treadmill right there, but if you don't like that, here's a weight. All right. What else here? Okay, water bottle. Got to stay hydrated because I sit here for 12 hours a day. Any arts? It says arts and crafts. So I do actually have a mandala right here, mandala board. And so I like to draw mandalas. Here's an arts and crafts book of mandalas and different art.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, gloves or mask.
Wow is right.
I just have my gloves, but I have plenty of gloves. Here's some gloves here. for when it gets really cold in here in the winter, okay? Because I've been teaching virtually. Disinfectant wipes, Clorox wipes or Lysol wipes right here. In terms of snack, okay, well, actually I ate my snack, but I have more candy. Sorry. Cell phone, here we are. And box. What kind of box? I have a Kleenex box where my nose is. There you go. And those are my items.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Okay, I gotta stop sharing my screen because literally I cannot believe this. Number one, obviously working at home virtually has its advantages because you literally have most things at your disposal. I don't know anybody, I have played this game so many times, nobody has had all 18 in 2 minutes. And so I love the competitive spirit. And we probably have several folks in the chat who are also may have found things. And so I'm trying to stop sharing my screen, but Farah, in the chat, do you see anybody else that got 18? Did anybody else?
So yeah, we actually have 2 more that got 18. Sarah and Chris Patanga.
Hey,
got all 18.
Okay, all right. Well, we will be checking that chat and I'll trust, so we won't go through all the lists. I won't have Dr. Botanga running around to show me things on his screen because I trust that he's telling us the truth, right? And several of you others, but we thought it'd be fun for you to get up, move around, but also in thinking about like this fun, random scavenger hunt, it's also a way, and I've done it with students, I've done it with faculty, a way to understand all of the assets that we have at our disposal. So when you think about us as a collective, as an LSAMP family, you know, the pandemic has hit us hard at a lot of our institutions and has hit our students hard. But we've had to dig deep and we've had to find resilience in ourselves, but also be very resourceful, right? And so trying to identify things within your space is a way to also build that knowledge and build those resources. And all of you as being part of that family are our resources. You know, we can grab hold of Kim and we can grab hold of Dr. Jones and others and use that collective knowledge that's right in our backyard to advance our students and advance STEM knowledge. So we did have a bigger picture to the scavenger hunt, but I just love seeing you all just running around, grabbing things and enjoying yourselves because that's what it's all about. So Farah, do you want to pivot? I know we just have a few minutes, but do you want to talk about our earlier session and perhaps invite folks into that conversation for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, so quite a few of you were in the earlier session, our Alliance to Alliance discussion, but I'll just give you the topics that we talked about and then ask if anybody has things to add to those discussions here in this space. So one was virtual learning and student engagement challenges throughout the pandemic. One was inter-alliance cooperation, synergy, and accountability. The third was collaboration among institutions for information gathering and sharing. The fourth was specialized program design for 2-year community colleges. The fifth was enhancing partnerships that create sustainability and enhance job prospects for students. And the final one was ameliorating understaffing and budget challenges across Alliance institutions. So if anyone has feedback or comments or suggestions or helpful information or questions and problems that they're having in their Alliance with any of those topics, feel free to share out now.
And we have some of our moderators for our roundtable sessions in the room as well, and some folks that participated in that. I see Dr. Flores is here and participated. Chris as well is here, and several others. Brenda, who's also here. Feel free to come off of mute or type in the chat if there are impressions that you had, things that you learned you didn't know before, or suggestions that you have on any of those topics. And if you would either come off of mute or use the raise your hand feature so we know that you want to respond. Chris, go ahead.
Sure. So yeah, you actually moderated the budget, right, and understaffing one. And one thing that was interesting to me was hearing a little bit about not only the LSAMP programs, but some of the other programs that people had. So one of the things I mentioned was that our keynote speaker actually wrote the solicitation for the HSI program, NSF grant that we have at our institution. So I was excited to see her because I was like, oh, she was my very first program officer because we were awarded that. And so I was kind of curious if other people might be willing to share. I know there's other broadening participation portfolio programs, right? Like STEM, right? The LSAMP, HSI program, but are there other ones that people have funded? Because I think that was one of the strategies was thinking about aligning different sort of types of initiatives. So people would talk about, or maybe just share in the chat, right? Yeah, what other types of work do you guys use to link together, right, to provide sort of holistic support for your communities?
Can anyone respond or speak to that in the space?
Yeah, so I think some programs I've seen that have partnered with LSAMP in the past include also the HBCU UP programs. So if you have HBCUs in your alliance. Also from Department of Education, the McNair program is also a good partner on many campuses. Those are some good examples.
Okay.
So Chris, I know I mentioned this earlier in our session because I was in that session too, but just as a reminder, I mean, I had mentioned to you that McNair program, but then also to rely on private programs or privately funded programs as well within your institution. And so I'm going to say names, but those are not going to be relevant to your campus because they're relevant only to ours. But so NIBLAC scholars or Wentz scholars or freshman research scholars. So in addition to the McNair scholars and some other programs that are federally funded. One of the things or initiatives that we've started for us to kind of know what programs are out there and who we can use for support or leveraging funds is we started an undergraduate research committee within our institution where it brings those people with different funding programs to come in, and then we talk about not only about what strategies and things we can do to help and assist our scholars, but the funding aspects as well. So we're more familiar with a variety of different programs or grants that might be out there to assist our scholars.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Brenda. Is there anyone else that wants to chime in on this? I saw Chris, you put in the chat as well that you were just awarded an STEM and have applied for HHMI IE, and I'm familiar with that grant as well, but have not been awarded one as of yet. Okay. I don't see anyone responding yet. So if anyone has any feedback for what Chris mentioned, if you could please put that in the chat. But we definitely want as much feedback as possible on that topic, since we know across campuses that we face some definite budget challenges. And so, and that may be affecting your alliance work and maybe affecting staffing as well at your institution. And so we want to come up with creative solutions to address that. Thank you, Mary, for putting that in the chat. I see your response as well. And also Dr. Flores, great opportunities to synergize, and I agree. So thank you, Chris, for posing that, that comment as well. Anyone else have feedback on those topics? We have a few more minutes again left. We want to make this fun, but also meaningful. So if there are questions, dialogue, things you wanted to talk about, you did not get to share in the earlier programs, this is the time to do that. And we have some fantastic people in our room, so please don't shy away from doing that. I see Catherine, your hand is up.
Yes, hello everyone. I actually have a question because I've been struggling with this for about a year. We have money to provide stipends to students, and the feedback that I got is the purpose of the stipend. Well, I won't say purpose, but like basically that it's not to count as income against the student, and that it's, which has like tax implications. And so like I've been going back and forth with HR in our grants office on that. Like, could someone is able to explain to me, or maybe connect offline, so that when I'm having conversation that I'm clear? Because we found a process in where we don't have to go through the hiring process for students anymore. But then someone mentioned, but they're gonna have to end up submitting it on their taxes later on. So I'm just curious if someone could help me with that.
I can speak a little bit to that if you like, because we've been paying students for 9 years. I mean, it's taxable income.
Okay.
So even though you may have a process by which you don't take taxes out, you just inform the student up front that they're going to have to pay taxes on the back end.
Okay.
And there are ways, there are tools you can go online to use if you want to like estimate what those are and what have you. But it's just part of, there's no real way around it. It is income. And the way I address it with my students is just letting them know that up front so that they can be prepared. And I had to do that in grad school. I got this big fellowship. Oh, great, wonderful, that no taxes were taken out of. And I had to put away a little money every month because I knew I'd have a big tax bill on the back end.
Okay. So I'm just curious. So then, like, what I had heard originally was just bad information that it's going to be taxable no matter what, and it is income counted to, okay.
Yeah, stipends are considered taxable income. Now, for many college students, they don't make enough money in the whole year for it to possibly not even affect. But there are some exceptions of students who do get enough where, yes, it is considered taxable income. Whether you get it through payroll or through a straight stipend, it's still considered income.
Okay, thank you so much.
I see Denise hands is up. Yes, go ahead, Denise.
Yeah, we actually had a way to be able to deal with it with HR. As far as taxation is concerned, it's really an individual thing. There were some married bridge to the doctorate fellows. There were some single bridge to the doctorate fellows with dependents. There were all kinds of taxable situations. But if you were to talk to HR and appoint the students with a 0 FTE, but give them that money coming in from the grant, it may or may not be taxable income based on whether it's a fellowship or scholarship. The stipend for an assistantship is a salary and you get one. The stipend that you get from a fellowship is not salary. So it really is an individual thing, and I'd stay as far away from giving them tax advice as I possibly could. But what we did was we said, just in case it's taxed, put aside 25% of your stipend so that when that bill, that April 15th bill comes around, you've got money to pay for it if it's taxed, or if it's deemed taxable based on your individual situation.
And then the flip side of that is if it's not taxed and they don't have to pay a tax bill, then they have a savings.
Hello.
All right, thank you all so much. Did anyone else want to comment? I saw a comment in the chat or question from Whitney that says that's only stipends and not scholarships, correct?
I'm not entirely certain. I think, you know,
Well,
I don't
I know that there's some institutions that try to give the award through scholarships, and I'll tell you for myself, that was a situation when I first joined the program that they were trying to migrate it from a straight stipend to scholarships. I actually opposed that, and I'll tell you why. Because once that student gets that as a scholarship, it can reduce other forms of aid that they're eligible to receive. And although for many students, you know, obviously we don't want students to have exorbitant amount of loans and debt coming out of school, some of those students really rely on that funding to pay their day-to-day expenses and just basic needs. So I had to push for them not to regard it as a scholarship and instead to continue on with it as a stipend that then the student gets a Form 1099 at the end of the year and has to address whatever their tax liability is on it. So that's one thing. Obviously, for some institutions, you don't get a choice. You know, they decide how they want to administer the grant. But if you have a say so, I would just remember, especially for URM students, sadly, you know, they don't have the money sticking in their pockets to be able to just pay outright for school. Many of them do not. So a combination of financial aid, working jobs, having that LSAMP funding is really beneficial to them, and having that broad base of support actually helps the students more than not. So I see Sarah put in the chat, Farah, that it would be a question for the specific institution, and when in doubt, reach out to your research and sponsor projects or student financial aid. Totally agree with that. Catherine, did that answer your question? Did that help at all?
It did. I when I originally heard it, I thought it was a hard and fast rule. So I've been pushing the school to say it's supposed to be like this. And it's nice to hear that it's actually not, from those who are doing it. Our concern is if it will end up happening on the back end, impacting their financial aid when the taxes are used to apply for FAFSA in a couple years.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And obviously you see the wealth of knowledge in the room. So make sure that you stay in contact with folks. There are some senior Alliance folks that are here as well who have navigated these issues across institutions. So anyone else in the last couple of minutes that we have left that has a pressing question or comment, feedback?
I just want to add something to the question about scholarships and fellowships.
I don't know who's, can you announce who's speaking? It's a little bit harder to hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Chuck.
Oh, Chuck. Okay. Come on, Chuck.
Madison College. So with fellowships and scholarships, money that goes toward like tuition and books is generally tax-free. It's sort of like a 529 or some of the plans where you can save money for tuition and stuff where you don't have to pay taxes on it. But stuff for like, you know, buying food and your living expenses, all that kind of stuff, generally is taxable. But stuff like for books and tuition and like a computer, if you have to use it for your courses, you know, things that would be what are called qualified expenses, generally are not taxable. But everything else is. So I know it gets complicated.
Thank you so much, Chuck. And Chuck is up here with me. We're bracing for the cold weather that is to come. So Chuck, I'll be down to you at Madison to get a coat. I hear someone else maybe speaking.
Yeah, I think Dr. Jones.
Yay.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to add, I was looking at what Sarah had put in there, that some colleges consider scholarships under the participants awards, but keep in mind, you know, one of the things that Martha James and Dr. Hicks has always said is that this is not a scholarship program. and that these should be listed as stipends. And as a matter of fact, if you look at your stipulations in PEC, no, they were actually putting their strong language that this is not a scholarship, but this is a stipend. So if your institution is applying it as a scholarship, be sure to remind your SPOs of the stipulations that's in the back of your grant. I just wanted to add that piece, Anik.
Thank you so much. And that's actually very helpful. And I'm glad that it was designed that way. As you mentioned, it's intentional that it's that way. So thank you so much, Dr. Jones, for elucidating that point for us. So we are actually running out of time. Farah and I both want to thank everyone for coming. We had an awesome brainstorming session earlier today, and we actually are going to compile that along with your feedback and share that out amongst the different Alliance programs, and hopefully get going maybe some solutions, talk about ways that we can create those platforms to share data, to share knowledge. Even Catherine, what you mentioned, maybe looking at ways that we can host programming around just administrative, like looking at administration of the grants, you know, on an institutional level, and maybe concepts or things that we all can learn to grow in that. So we'll be sharing that out, so stay tuned. But Farah, do you want to close us out here?
It's been a blast. I hope you've enjoyed the day and the sessions as much as we have. We're thankful, and I'm glad to see a full room, and I will be even more glad hopefully next year if we can have it in person and have a physical full room like this. That will be wonderful. Definitely, you know, continue to collaborate and connect and communicate throughout the entire rest of the conference and through the year. You know, as you said, we have a whole network here of connections and expertise.
So please go into the HOVA app. There's a way for you to connect with folks there. Say hi, introduce yourself in the chat, get to know people. I also want to put in a shameless plug. So tomorrow, our WisCamp STEM Inspire program at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee has collaborated with LSMRCE to bring Shalini Kantaya, who is the director and screenwriter of the film Coded Bias. For those of you who have not seen it yet, please go and watch it. I'm not sure if it's still on Netflix, but I think Deb had a link for folks to be able to see that movie, but she will do a talk back, and I encourage all of you as well as your students to come, because she'll be sharing out some important information. So with that said, thank you all so very much. Have a wonderful evening. We will see you back at the conference tomorrow. And so look forward to seeing all of you. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good night. Take care. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.